just to point actually, and I know we're formally finished, but there's a talk now that it was the Americans that blew up the pipeline, the Nord Stream pipeline. It looks like it might have been, that they did it, not the Russians. But if they did do it, then of course there's worry about retaliation, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm finding that. I heard something like that, and I find it difficult, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them, but there's no advantage to Americans doing this.
No, but you see, people say there's no advantage to the Russians doing it. That's the question, because they turn the taps off when they want to say, okay, do as we say, and we'll just turn the tap back on. You can have gas, but now they can't turn the tap back on and give Europe gas, or Germany, because it's kind of blown up.
So in a way, there's no advantage to any of them, but to the Russian, there's advantage, as in they could say, see, we're willing to do this. So be careful.
Yeah.
So it's not empty threats.
Well, I hope it is the Russians, because the last thing we want is retaliation by them attacking some undersea cables
I'd be very surprised with the Americans.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it. But
the Americans doing in a retaliation, Americans?
Well, it's like there's some suggestion they blew up the pipeline, and because why would the Russians do it? But then again, as Michael says, why would the Americans do it? But the problem is you can't trust the Americans in terms of their military activity, because they kind of do things which later are shown to be by deception.
By deception, like the Iraqi war.
Yeah, the weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. But before that, in Vietnam, President Johnson was carrying around a resolution in his pocket before an alleged attack by North Vietnamese boats on South Vietnamese boats. So that was the excuse to send tens of thousands of American soldiers to South Vietnam. But it was all planned. And then there was the destruction of a ship called the USS Liberty in 1967 by the Israeli Air Force, which was completely covered up as well. So there's things that they do, and of course, and British intelligence as well. We mustn't say the British are innocent over assassinations. So you just can't trust what anybody says. We can't trust what the Russians say, of course, but we can't trust what the Americans and the British say.
That's it.
And this is where we're stuck. You just...
we learned during the Soviet regime that whatever they say, the Russians say, it's always different.
Yeah.
So we read the text by changing minus into plus. But it was really different.
Yeah. Right.